I got to play Pokemon Legends ZA early. Hey, this is GatorX and I am at Pokemon World Championships in case you haven't already gotten annoyed by all the stuff I'm posting about it. But one of the cool things I got to do was sign up for a demo to play Pokemon Legends ZA. This was at a booth set up by Nintendo themselves, and their main rule was that we were allowed to record as long as we were in the shot ourselves to show off that it was more of an experience, rather than just having the gameplay out there. Huge shout out to the Pokeraf for lending me his tripod because I didn't bring one. Please check out his channel and give him the biggest thanks as well. Though I did edit the footage a little so you can see the gameplay a little better, but I'm still there, so you get the live GatorX reaction. And so this demo was actually in two parts. The first part has you participating in a few battles for the ZA Royale, and then the second part has you take on a rogue Mega Evolution, that being Absol. Earlier this year at Anime Expo, I did get to play a demo for Digimon Time Stranger, and that demo was in two parts as well, though you could only choose one or the other, doing a gauntlet of battles or fighting Parentmon as the boss. But for us playing the demo of Pokemon Legends ZA, we actually got to do both back to back. And in these demos, it seems like we learn the default names for the protagonists, those being Harmony for the female and Paxton for the male. Those were shown off in a trailer, but I guess we get more confirmation now. So anyway, yeah, the demo, like I said, there were about 3 battles that you could complete in the first part. And you know, there was a bonus one as well, but I guess we'll talk about that in a moment. And the actual battle, the gameplay, I do enjoy it. You know, in this portion, you're just kind of like in a little alleyway of Lumio City. I think it is kind of neat. Some people might say it's not as interesting, though I think just the fact that like the focus is the battles here and you know, not necessarily the exploration, I really enjoyed it. And the battles themselves, yeah, you do have to manage a lot. For one thing, you know, the Pokemon are moving around all the time, and so I think you as a trainer need to move around a good amount as well, just like how you were able to do in Legends Arceus, but it is more important this time, because the battles are taking place in real time, you have to actually dodge them or do well to dodge them, and kind of also walk around to lead your Pokemon where they should be, even hopefully dodging some attacks. During battle, you hold ZL to lock on to the opponent's Pokemon, and that will also bring up all your Pokemon's attacks, which are mapped to the face buttons. And each individual attack has its own cooldown, so you could kind of press like one right after the other, though it will take a moment for the Pokemon to actually use them, you know, in terms of like whenever they're free and able to, which is typically immediately, not saying that there's like any lag or anything, but more so as a way to prevent you from like spitting out attacks one right after the other. It is kind of interesting also is that your Pokemon don't necessarily go away as soon as you win the battle. They follow you around until you put them back inside the Pokeball willingly. Obviously, I think the main focus of this was to learn the battle system, so the actual battles themselves weren't all that interesting. In terms of like the Pokemon that the trainers had, it was a lot more of like an early route feeling, except there was this one guy with a Pidgeot that they stuck there as like a mini boss, I guess. And the Nintendo representative kind of urged everybody to try and battle them, and you know, apparently nobody beat them. One of the Pokemon that you're given is a Mareep, so I was able to sneak up and do a little bit of damage. Then comes the next part, which is really interesting, the boss battle against the rogue Mega Absol. And this one doesn't put you in the battle right away, it gives you the little lead up to it as you're kind of walking through the city and you're following Zygarde 10%, which seems to be leading you to the distressed Pokemon. Meanwhile, Emma is chiming in and she actually talks to you while you're walking, so that's kind of neat. Kind of a system that I enjoy, that you can still get some of the story and you can check in on it while you're running around and exploring or heading to the next destination. So then Zygarde grabs you by the arm and pulls you right up to the top of the building where you find the Absol. Meanwhile, at the very bottom, we catch up with Emma, and AZ even shows up, and he has a Lucario with him that he gives a Mega Bracelet, allowing you to Mega Evolve during the battle. So very interesting, obviously. I don't know if this is going to be taken exactly from the game. I would like to believe it is, and if that is the case, that means this would be our introduction to Mega Evolution through a Lucario, and AZ is the one who gives us the Mega Ring, more so as a means of protecting ourselves kind of in the heat of the moment. And it does also show that he and Emma are going to be connected at the very beginning. Again, this is all assuming that this is lifted from the game, which I would like to. So then the actual battle begins. Absol Mega evolves and you have Lucario to fight against it. And it is a lot of the same kind of battle system, you know, it felt a little more like a mix between the battles that we had done in the demo as well as the boss battles from Pokemon Legends Arceus. And that I really did enjoy because, you know, this Mega Evolved Pokemon was like out for you specifically too. Like, yeah, sure, it's gonna attack your Pokemon, but you need to be very careful as well. So I really do kind of enjoy this more active element to it, along with your Pokemon being commanded to attack here and there. But also in this, you cannot Mega Evolve right away. You have to deal damage to the rogue Mega Pokemon and it'll drop all these orbs, and that will charge your gauge for the Mega Evolution. It honestly reminds me a lot of the system in Pokémon Tournament, where you collect all that energy, power up your gauge, and then activate a Synergy form, I think it was called. The point is that once your Pokemon Mega Evolves, this animation will play and then your attacks are going to do more damage, and so it does make the battle a bit easier for the moment. The Mega Evolution does actually wear off during the course of the battle, but you can collect more energy and actually trigger it again. I don't know what it'll be like with multiple Pokemon that can Mega Evolve in your party at once, but I'm going to assume that you can only choose one to continuously re-Mega Evolve. That is something that I guess we'll find out later. Anyway, yeah, the battle is really fun and I want a whole lot more of them. I really hope there are just a bunch of rogue Mega Evolution Pokemon around. And once you beat the Absol, you actually do get to keep the Absol life, fight, so I guess this is going to be one of the main systems of collecting them. It does play the same animation that we had seen in a previous trailer. After the battle, we catch up with Emma, AZ, and then Tawny, your rival, shows up. And I don't necessarily want to say they give a little small talk, but for one thing, your rival is kind of surprised that you were able to Mega Evolve, and you know, that's where they're filled in with AZ. And then also we kind of get the spiel of the Rogue Mega Evolution Pokemon. And then we're also told that there's a huge company that is unnamed, but I think we know that it's going to be Quasartico, and they're keeping a close eye on the situation, but we'll be able to get their information by competing in the ZA Battle Royale. So very interesting to see how it all comes together. I don't think there's anything like very important in terms of lore, but in terms of the gameplay and the experience, that was like the main thing. And yeah, I gotta be honest, I really did enjoy what I played. I think the battles at the beginning were, you know, not all that interesting. Again, I think the main part of it was to introduce you to the battle system, and then when it came to the boss battle, I think that it was a really nice marriage of the new battle system as well as kind of the feeling of Legends Arceus. Getting just a small taste of it, I was really intrigued, and now what I'm most excited to do is actually explore Lumio City, as well as get into some really big battles and kind of, you know, relearn the system. So those are my thoughts on the demo of Pokemon ZA that I was able to play. I've been having a great time at Pokemon World Championships, it's so much fun, and I'm having fun with all the people I'm hanging out with. Hopefully this video sounded fine. I'm using my travel microphone, and obviously I'm just in my hotel room, so let me know if you enjoyed it, and if you're having a great time at World Championships if you're here. But otherwise, let me know how excited you are for the release of Pokemon Legends ZA in like 2 months, I think. Anyway, this is Gatorax, and I'll catch you all later.